Today's production addresses the issues of medications and how to check and balance what's going on with your parent. What happens when 911 is called and you're there waiting with your parent to have the emergency folks determine the current status of your parent's health? The first thing the EMTs ask you is, what medications is this person taking? And so you must have that list. Keep it in your phone, put it on a piece of paper and have it in your billfold. Put it somewhere that you can always get access to it. And that way you can fully inform the EMTs of precisely what your parent is taking. For me, that was an absolute necessity because nobody can tell by looking at a parent what kinds of medications they take. Nobody could tell of the pain medications maybe that your parent is taking. So get the list and keep it with you. That's what I did, and it saved my soul. Now, is it just so you can inform the EMT? Not necessarily, because the first thing that happens is when you get to the hospital, what medications is your parent on? And so you repeat this process multiple times. I had to, every time I went to the hospital, even though my parents were in the hospital system records, it made no difference. That information had to be obtained by another individual. So by you keeping the list, number one, you ensure, as I did, that the hospital gets good information. And almost every time my parents went to the hospital, there was generally some rehab involved, which means a temporary stop at a rehabilitation center before returning home. My parents had hip replacements, they had infections, they had many different things that required rehabilitation. And so every time you enter a rehab place, you want to double check. We have wonderful computer systems, we have really good people at the helm, but all of that still means mistakes can be made. I was having breakfast with my father one day, and the dispensary with his medications came by, and I just simply took out my list and said, oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? And sure enough, somebody had changed a medication, and when you're talking about blood pressure, that's a big deal for my parent. And so I was able to resolve the discrepancy and get the records lined up. Additionally, sometimes my parent, while in the hospital, was given a new medication. Does that mean I was told that information? Not necessarily. And so as your parent's advocate, you must ask a lot of questions. Take your list and always ask what is being administered to your parent and when, because otherwise you have no way of really tracking changes. With my parents, when a new medication was administered and my parent behaved differently, I at least knew what question to ask. Well, does this medication do this kind of thing to a parent or somebody of their age? Because medications are set based on certain standards. And as I learned with my parents tended to do better with fewer medications. And so we were constantly working to get rid of medications, especially pain medications. So keep your cheat sheet close at hand and make sure that you have as current a list as possible. And once in a while, check with your primary care physician and say, this is on my list, has anything changed? If you have the power of attorney, you'll get the information. If you haven't obtained the healthcare power of attorney, ask your parent to okay the release of that info and have them sign a document. That's what I did with my parent, and that's how I was able to stay on top of the medications and any potential problems. We look forward to speaking to you again on other issues relative to your parents' health. Thank you for joining Lynn's Light. We hope the ideas, the creativity, and the issues that we went through with our family can be applied to you for generations to come. We all have aging family members, and all we want to do is empower you. This is never intended to be legal advice. Good luck.